Welcome to On and Off the Mat with Suma. Today, my guide and my model here is my daughter Kavita. Today's yin practice is all dedicated to smiling. I think it's a great intention to have. The props you will need today are 2 blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use firm books or even firm boxes, and a blanket or folded thick towels. I'm going to have you start in a seated position, making sure your knees are below your hips. That may mean sitting on something, your 2 blocks or 1 block, or even a folded blanket. Finding Jnana Mudra, tips of your thumbs against tips of your index finger, the other 3 fingers straight as possible. Closing your eyes or softening your gaze by taking it down about 30 degrees in front of you. Gently closing your lips. Let's chant 3 ohms. Take a breath in. Om. Breathe in. Om. Once more, please. Keep your eyes closed as you allow those vibrations to settle. What is the power of chanting ohms out loud? When you chant ohms out loud, it calms the vagus nerve. This vagus nerve is in charge of your rest and digest. So anytime you're feeling stressed or need a little bit of calming, just chant those ohms out loud. Yo, Kavita, open your eyes. I'm going to have you start on your back, legs lengthened out in the front. Hands can be on your belly if you want, or one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, hands alongside your body, wherever it's comfortable for you. Still with your eyes closed. Before we begin this short yin practice today, I'm going to have you check in with yourself. And in this Shavasana pose, I want you to observe all the limbs that are rooting you to the earth. That is your seat. And in the Shavasana pose, I want you to have you tune inwards. Tune into your physical body. What did you bring with you to the mat today? Your mental. Taking an inventory of your thoughts. But don't hook into any particular thought. What's your energy like? Your mood? Any emotions? Even tuning into your spiritual being. From this place, set an intention for your practice. Have no expectations, no judgments. Making sure your intentions are in the present moment. If your hands are not on your low belly, place them there, gently resting them there. As you continue to breathe in and out through the nose, observing the front part of your body as you breathe in, what all is expanding, creating space as you breathe in. Observing the front body and the back body as you breathe out. What is softening, contracting? Maybe as you breathe in, your belly expands, your chest, your rib cage expands, your shoulders rise. And as you breathe out, everything softens. And what happens to the back body? 4 more breaths. And after your 4th exhale, plant your feet on the floor, knees bent, roll over onto your left side, and then slowly come up to seated. The first pose we're going to do in this yin practice is a butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of your feet together, making sure you have a big diamond, so making sure those feet are further away from your root, from your pelvis. And I think, Kavita, I would recommend putting blocks under each of the knees. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen your spine. So finding the pose, coming into the pose, taking time getting there. And then taking your hands onto your feet, maybe your shins. Lengthen your spine. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, rounding your back, coming down wherever you can. The goal is not that your head touch the floor. The goal is not that you have your hands on the floor. The goal is taking the time to come into the pose, feeling a light to moderate stretch, and then finding a place of stillness in your body, your mind. Finding Shavasana in this pose. Karita, do you need a block under your head? Softening through that upper body, relaxing your shoulders. There you go. Allowing the pose to work on you. So in a yin practice, it can be very meditative, tuning into your breath, working the deep connective tissues, allowing those hips to release towards the earth. Allowing your torso to descend further towards the earth or staying where you are. Not forcing anything, melting into the pose. You're a little more than halfway done through this pose. Continue your mindful diaphragmatic breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose. In a yin practice, those muscles are stretched and relaxed. On your next inhale, slowly start rising up. Head the last one to come up. Hands under those knees, slowly drawing those knees together, extending those legs forward, shaking them out. We did a deep forward bend. Let's do a little back bend. Hands behind you, lifting your heart, opening your chest. If it feels good, head can go back. Otherwise, chin resting on your chest. Three more breaths. The next pose we're going to do is a low flying dragon. I'm going to have you come onto all fours, table. Make sure you have both your blocks at the front of your mat. Then bring your right foot in between your hands. Okay. So a couple of options here on where you can put your blocks. You want to make sure your knees is right over your ankle. Walk your left knee back, left leg back, until you feel a stretch in that back hip flexor. Your hands can be on either side of the foot, or if you like, both hands inside the foot. Okay? So Karita, I want you to put hands on the blocks, both of them. There you go. Okay? And then if you want, you can even take if you have your hands inside the foot, you can take that foot to the outside edge of the mat. There you go. Feeling okay? Okay. You can stay here. Otherwise, you can even open up that foot coming onto the outer edge of the foot. So there you go. Okay, see where you need to be. What's calling out to you? Okay, there we go. Yoga is all about listening to your inner self, your inner guide. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, shift your weight forward just slightly. There you go. You okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. You want to make sure your knee never passes your ankle. You want to feel that light to moderate stretch. Finding your Shavasana in this pose. Making sure that your shoulders are not hunching up towards your ears. Make sure there's space between your ears and shoulders. Shoulder blades moving down towards your tailbone. Head is an extension of your spine, so you're not looking up and the chin is not towards your chest. Using your breath to anchor you to the pose, so mindful breathing in and out through the nose. Now work with where your blocks are. Kavita is fine exactly where she is. You can always take the blocks to the medium height or the highest height. This is your practice, listening to your body, where you need to be at this moment. And as you continue those breaths, in and out through the nose, smile. You're halfway through the pose. You can stay where you are, or if your body allows it, can you go a little deeper? Whatever deeper means to you. It could be coming back to the breath. It can mean shifting your weight a little further forward. Maybe if your hands are on a block at the highest level, maybe take the blocks out to a different level. Or staying where you are. It takes courage to listen to your inner self. Maybe it's telling you to stay where you are. This is your practice, giving yourself permission to come out of this pose, any pose, whenever you need to. another 20 seconds. You can work through anything for 20 seconds. Thinking happy thoughts of the instructor. Okay, good. I'm going to have you shift back. Release. There you go. And sit back. So stretching the front leg out. There you go. You can sit like that. There you go. Yep. Flexing your toes. So you're bringing some relief to that front hamstring. There you go. Nice. Beautifully done. Flexing those toes. Toes towards your nose. Beautiful. Shake out that leg. You can even massage the tops of the thighs. There you go. Before we move to the next side. When you're ready, come back to table. All fours. And then bringing the left foot forward. Okay. Making sure that left knee is tracking over your left ankle. Taking those blocks. Whatever variation you did on the other side, do so on this side. Great. Walking that right leg back until you're feeling that space, that little stretch on that back hip flexor. Okay. For Kavita, for her, same height of blocks on this side also. On this side, you may have a different height for the blocks. Honor where you need to be on this side. You already have those, your leg out, knee out, great. Shifting your weight forward just slightly. Closing your eyes or softening that gaze. Head still in an extension of your spine. Softening through those shoulders. What may help is the heel of your palm is in alignment with the heel of your foot. So if you want to take those blocks a little further out. How does that feel? That may feel a little better. So this helps you to make sure those shoulders are not bunching up towards those ears. Finding Shavasana in this low flying dragon on this side. Observing the sensations. You may already start noticing differences from the other side. Maybe it's your body mechanics, why it's different. Maybe it's the way you stand or run or sit. Honor how this side feels. No expectations, no judgments. Mindful diaphragmatic breathing. You're halfway through this pose. Do you need to shift anything? Maybe it's a physical shift. Maybe it's a mental shift. An opportunity to make a change if you need to. If you feel like you've gone too far, bring the back leg in slightly. Just like Kavita did. Maybe you need the blocks at a different height. I want you to scan your body. First, scan your face. Are you holding tension anywhere? Smile. Smiling forces you to breathe. Smiling, make sure you unclench your jaw. Where are your shoulders? If you can take one thing away from this class, your ears do not like your shoulders. Make sure there's space between your ears and shoulders. 10 more seconds. On your next inhale, shifting back. Let's do that hamstring stretch. You can stay exactly where you are. There you go. Flexing the front toes. Bringing some release to that left hamstring. 3 more breaths here. Okay, Kavita. I'm going to have you move towards that way. There you go. Lay down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. And taking your knees a little wider, but the big toes to touch. So we're doing a child's pose on your back. There you go. This is your pose. Closing your eyes once you get there. Softening through those shoulders. Nice. Maybe your elbows are resting on the floor so your shoulders can relax. You can also do this child's pose right on the floor, but today I want you to concentrate on doing child's pose on your back. You feeling okay? Mindful breathing in and out through the nose. I'm going to have you plant your feet on the floor. Take a block and place it under your sacrum. The sacrum is the low flat triangle part of your low back. Now take your legs straight up. Support a shoulder stand. Hands by your side. Relaxing your knees, relaxing your ankles. You can also do this reclined caterpillar right at the wall so that your spine is on the floor and your legs are resting against the wall. This is an inversion, so having your legs at the wall will support them. Make sure they don't get tired. You doing okay, Kavita? So if you ever do this reclining caterpillar at the wall, you can stay at that pose between anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. But in this particular pose, I'm going to have you come out of it. Bend both knees, plant one foot on the floor, then the other. Lift your hips up, take out the block. Hug your knees into your chest. Forehead towards your knees. Take a deep breath here. And as you exhale, come into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Let it go. Legs much wider than your hips. Toes turned out. Hands about 45 degrees away from your body, palms facing up. Coming back to your natural breathing. And if you want to feel a little bit more groundedness, you can take that folded blanket and place it right on top of your hips. Which will take your pelvis further towards the earth. This is your time to just be. After any yoga practice, you want to make sure you do Shavasana as long as you need it to be. As you finish up Shavasana, I'll leave you with this passage titled Smiling. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy, by Thich Nhat Hanh. Physiologically, it's been shown that smiling can make us feel happy, even if we are forcing the smile deliberately. Regardless of the science, it makes sense to smile whether we feel like it or not. A smile energizes our brain as well as our muscles, and we don't want our face to settle into sadness. Today's affirmation, as silly as it may seem, I'm going to remind myself to smile regularly today, and then I'll see what happens. Start deepening your breath, bringing small movements back into your body, wiggling your toes, brushing your thumbs against each of the fingertips, bringing your legs a little closer towards each other, your arms up overhead. Take a long body stretch, like you're first waking up in the morning. Deep breath in through the nose, open mouth, let it go. Plant your feet on the floor and roll over onto your right side. Just roll right on over. Pillowing your head on your bottom bicep. And as you pause here for a moment, come back to your intention to seal the practice. And take what you've learned on the mat, off the mat. When you're ready, slowly come up to seated. Cross-legged. Pray your hands, Anjali Mudra at heart center. Lifting your heart to meet your thumbs. Closing your eyes. Bowing over those fingers. May the rest of your day be filled with peace of mind, gratitude, and a smile or two. Namaste.